Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Adam Sherwinski.
And we do have a tornado warning there for far Montgomery County. There doesn't include Gillespie, Staunton, Bunker Hill, Plainview, and Fidelity. Radar indicated rotation. There have been some minor circulations we were just talking about a little bit ago, but now they have issued a tornado warning just south of Carlinville and does include parts of I-55 and the far southern portions of our viewing area, but still one we want to keep tabs on for this morning as that line of storms gets closer and closer to the north and east and closer to the Springfield metro area. So we're going to keep an eye on this. No confirmed reports of anything so far, but places like Plainview, Fidelity, Gillespie, and Bunker Hill, those are the spots to watch out for. We would love to get a better image of this, but the radar is down. The National Weather Service radar is down there at St. Louis office there. So can't get as clear of a picture as we'd want, but we still have enough information to know what's going on here. So places like Shipman, if you're there and you're watching us here on WCIA, make sure you are very much getting us there. Keep in mind that we're going to see a little bit more of the active weather here throughout the day, and we're going to see more and more opportunities for more storms, not just for this morning, but later on for today as well. So keep that in mind. Also, join us on streaming on WCIA.com, but also on us right now there on our Facebook pages. Kevin, Seth, myself, and Jacob, we're on air right now there on Facebook. If you can't follow us, or maybe you're not watching us on air, if you are, there you go. Shipman, Miles Station there in far southern portions of the county. That's where that tornado warning is for circulation that popped up a little bit ago. We were mentioning these circulations, 3 of them, very tight and very quick this morning. It's been kind of an active morning here. A lot of the tornado warnings just outside of our viewing area, so keep that in mind. That tornado warning goes for quite some time too, so let's keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at our warning boxes here, and you'll see that that warning box does have that tornado possible tag on there for the severe thunderstorm warning, but radar indicated rotation there, and that is all until about 8:30 there in Macoupin County. That's where we need to watch out for. Those other warnings have been gone as that circulation has moved away, but now it's in our viewing area now in far southern Macoupin County. That's what we need to watch out for. So if you're hearing us or watching us online from there on Facebook or Twitter, that's what we're looking for. Severe thunderstorm warning for the outside of Macoupin County does include Montgomery County as well. Radar indicated rotation, but 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts also a concern with this as well. So keep that in mind. Let's pull radar back up, and you can kind of see where things are. There's the tornado warning, and there's the line of storms. Part of a longer line of storms that has started to push in from Missouri. This is from the National Weather Service office there in St. Louis. Their radar isn't quite working right now for the St. Louis office. That's why we don't get velocities as well on there. But the velocities from the Lincoln radar have shown somewhat of rotation enough to warrant a tornado warning there. So keep that in mind. As you're going further north, let's say further north there in Springfield, another round of showers and storms from New Berlin just to the west of Chatham. That's where we're watching out for. So keep that in mind that we're going to see more chances for storms here. Keep that in mind that this is a tornado warning that we're going to stay wall to wall with throughout the time period. So keep that in mind. This is one of those where if you are in southern Macoupin County, make sure you're in safe space there. Gillespie, Bunker Hill, Shipman, and Somerville. Keep that in mind. You're going to have to seek shelter here with that rotation. Even though there's not been a confirmed sighting of a tornado, rotating wall cloud there from one of our EMAs down there in parts of Macoupin County. So keep that in mind. We're going to keep an eye on this as the system comes through here. We do have a quick break, but we're going to come right back here in just a few seconds. Stay with us online at WCIA.com and our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Adam Sherwinski.
7:56. Hey, we're taking a look outside right now, and this is what we're watching for, a tornado warning. Radar indicated rotation. Have not had any confirmed of anything on the ground just yet, but we're watching this as it moves forward. Gillespie, Bunker Hill, and Shipman. Hopefully you're under your safe space right there in Somerville and Shipman. I know this is on the edge of our viewing area there in southern Macoupin County, but that whole line of storms quite potent there. Hail, damaging winds would be the main threat with it, but also we've seen some rotation really tighten up with this storm just outside of our viewing area as it moves in. So keep that in mind here as we go through this morning. It's been a busy morning already here. Otherwise, though, it's one of those lines of storms that we have to keep an eye on because we've had multiple spots of just lots of strong storms there. Tornado warnings, again, just to the south and west of us, too, closer towards there in St. Louis. But this is from the National Weather Service office there in St. Louis. Again, this doesn't not include Carlinville, but it does include parts of 55 there near Mount Olive, Gillespie, Bunker Hill, and Shipman there in Macoupin County. So keep that in mind. That's the areas you need to be under the gun for. You're going to be under the gun for the tornado threat here. So keep that in mind, guys. We just got a report from one of our chats here on our stream. You can also follow that on our Facebook and X pages as well. And sirens are going off from Alton, St. Louis, not on the live stream. So keep that in mind, that some spots are already starting to see some of those issues. Alton, outside of our viewing area, but yes, Shipman, Gillespie, near I-55, Mount Olive, there in southern Macoupin County. That's what we're watching out for this morning. And I know we're going to end the 7 o'clock hour here on WCIX. We'll be on WCIA and WCIX here throughout the rest of the morning hours. So keep that in mind. This is one of those mornings where you don't want to take this for granted. We do have the opportunity to see some more severe weather through the morning hours and later on this afternoon. But again, a tornado warning right there for southern Macoupin County, and that does include places like Gillespie, Shipman, Wilsonville, Mount Olive, and Honey Point as well. Just in the southern portions of our viewing area. No confirmation just yet, but we have seen some rotation there. So we're going to keep an eye on this throughout the morning hours. Around that, a severe thunderstorm warning for a little bit more of the widespread area there in Macoupin County, and going into areas to the east there, near Litchfield, Raymond, Atwater, and Girard, all part of that. That is because we could see some hail with this too as well. We're going to keep an eye on this from this morning. So we've got people asking there on our stream, and you can join us on our stream there on Facebook, Twitter, both Kevin, Seth, myself, Jacob. Our stream is going right now. Right now, expecting, someone asked from Nokomis, expect some rain and maybe even some hail. And we'll watch out for some strong winds too. Right now, though, we're outside of Montgomery County. The tornado warning is there for Macoupin County, not Montgomery County, to answer people's questions. A lot of folks there on the eastern side of our viewing area. Not any threat right now, but we're going to keep an eye on this as it moves this morning. Again, tight rotation here early on. And if people are asking about the eastern portions of our viewing area on our stream, again, you can join that too if you're heading out the door there on Facebook, X, both for all of our weather pages there, all the weather staff here at WCIA, and you can find out what's going on and kind of keep in contact here if you have to leave right now to go to work. If your area is to the east of Decatur, I think you're okay for this morning, right now for the morning commute if it's a short commute. But as you go to the west, places like Springfield, that's the place you want to watch out for this morning as they have more storms coming in. No severe warnings just yet. Let's pull it up to Springfield, and there's not much going on, but there is probably a lot of thunder and lightning out there and heavy rainfall. Further down on 55, there we go, Gillespie, White City, over to Mount Olive, Shipman, already on behind where the circulation would be. And Macoupin County, that's where we're seeing that. Macoupin, the town itself, Wilsonville, just in front of it too. That tornado warning, that is up. We have a new tornado warning just there for Carlinville now for the same spot of rotation there. And that does include Raymond, Pittman, just north of Litchfield towards I-55. So be mindful of this. If you're traveling between Springfield and St. Louis, that's where we're watching out for this morning. Let's look at some more of the towns that are in the path of that. Shop Creek, Butler Grove, Zanesville, Shaws Point, Womack, and Honey Point. Those are all within the tornado warnings. We have 2 of them now for this morning. Keep zooming in and out, and I apologize for that. Just to give you an idea where it's at, though. Somebody asked about Nokomis earlier. You're outside of the warning area right now. There are no warnings for you, but we're still going to keep an eye on these storms as they roll through. We've had a lot of circulations earlier for this. And so these storms are moving to the north and east very slowly this morning, but they're moving kind of along a line here to the north and east and slowly to the east as a whole here. So we will see these storms continue to creep further closer towards the eastern portions of our viewing area, but a lot could change between then and now. All right, so here's a wider look for people asking. A lot of folks have been asking about Danville and Champaign and Decatur and Charleston and Mattoon. They're outside. There are some thunderstorms out there, but you'll notice that they're closer to really small scale stuff down to the south and east towards Hillsborough. Again, Macoupin County, Montgomery County, that's what we're watching for this morning, so keep that in mind. Got some heavier thunderstorms closer towards Springfield. This is all south of Springfield too, but it's all moving to the north and east towards Taylorville and Moweaqua. So keep that in mind for this morning as you make the commute. All right, again, we do have that tornado warning in effect there. It does include Carlinville, Litchfield, and Raymond and Pittman for this morning. Trying to get the model or the thing to show up to show our times on there. If you can get it to pull up here, hopefully. But these are the 2 tornado warnings we have active right now in Central Illinois. Somebody just commented on our Facebook live stream that we've got going on right now, which you can also join if you're heading out to work right now. I know people are kind of in that transition mode of going from being at home to go to work. Facebook and X all have that. We all have that going on right now. The tornado warning, somebody asked, they're over by Farmersville, and that's not too far from Farmersville where that tornado warning is. But Carlinville is definitely within there as well. Brushy Mound and Honey Point as well. Also a look at Raymond too, so keep that in mind. And we're going to wall because, again, tornado warnings in the morning are at a really crucial time right now. So again, you can join the conversation there on Facebook, on X as well. But this is what we're watching out for. 2 tornado warnings. Both encompass parts of Macoupin County and then some just north of Hillsborough there in parts of Montgomery County for this morning. Raymond, Pittman, Butler Grove, Litchfield, Honey Point, Brushy Mound, Carlinville, and Gillespie, Dorchester, Mount Olive, part of the 2 tornado warnings we have this morning. These storms really started to tighten up there. These are all in Illinois. Someone asked what state they're in. These are all in the state of Illinois. So keep that in mind. Within that same spot, we had that severe thunderstorm warning we were talking about earlier there for Macoupin County. So it's quite a messy storm. I've heard some people there on our chat that we have going saying that the winds picked up a little bit and a little bit more rain closer towards Springfield this morning. So we got a lot of people asking questions, and I wish I could get to both them and also the folks at home, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning and wrapped in that 2 tornado warnings as well. So keep that in mind. We're also getting more details coming in from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at that. But yeah, 2 tornado warnings. If you're along I-55 getting really towards the edge of our viewing area, keep that in mind here. We just saw from the National Weather Service there in St. Louis, strong indication of a tornado just southwest of Carlinville, possibly. We'll have to see how that let's see where that's at. So that would be right there, just south of town of Carlinville, right within this little thing. And the velocity is not working over for those, the National Weather Service over in Lincoln, in St. Louis this morning. Let's see if we can pull up the Lincoln site and if they can give us, yep, there you can see that circulation, the green going to a little bit of red. That is a tight circulation right there. Honey Point's just on the edge of this, but Honey Point, Carlinville, these are all areas right there that I'm circling right there in Carlinville. Right here. This is the area right now where that rotation is with that tornado warning. So keep that in mind that we are going to need to stay under cover here. Still seeing that tornado warning just to the south there in Gillespie. I would still be in your safe space as that tornado warning is going through. They've been canceling a few of these. The one to the north is for that circulation there towards Carlinville. Again, that's what we're watching out for. That red to green, that is a sign of clear rotation here. That's what we're watching out for this morning. Already some reports of limbs down from there on the National Weather Service chat from one of the people in the chat. And if you're just joining us, again, we have 2 tornado warnings for 2 circulations, it looks like there. One there towards Brushy Mound and one towards Walmack and Shaw's Point. Keep that in mind. I know folks at home are probably want to watch the CBS this morning, but we have 2 tornado warnings within our viewing area. So as much as we'd love to turn to CBS this morning, we have to stay on this to start our day. And again, if you're heading out the door right now and you still want to keep tabs on our weather right now, let's say you live in the Raymond, Hillsborough area or near Taylorville or Auburn, and you want more information, again, take us on the go. We're on X and we're on there on Facebook as well this morning, streaming this. A lot of folks are asking about the eastern portions of our viewing area. There aren't anything, there's maybe a few thunderstorms out there, but we're not really focused on that. We're focused on our 2 tornado warnings for this morning. Right in those 2 red boxes right there. So for Macoupin and Montgomery County, that's the one a little bit further to the north there that does include Carlinville and Raymond. Yes, they've confirmed that there might be a tornado there with that storm. Radar indicated rotation being one of the hazards. So again, I take that back. Radar indicated rotation. We're going to keep an eye on this as we go forward here, but there have been some spin ups already this morning of these little tightening rotations within this line of storms. And then another one just to the south there. That encompasses more of the southern Macoupin County and parts of Montgomery County too as well. Those are all for later this morning, 8:45 for the one for just Macoupin County. Or that's in 23 minutes. It expires in 23 minutes, excuse me. That is until we get to about, in the next 23 minutes, that should be allowed to expire. But the one to the north there, Macoupin and Montgomery County, that one is until 8:45 this morning. So we've got plenty of time on these. If you're in places like Shaw's Point, you haven't gotten to your safe space yet, I recommend doing so. Those rotations right there just north of Carlinville and one just south of town, just to the west of Brushy Mound. That's where we're watching for right now. Let's take a look at our reflectivity right here for this morning. Again, two tornado warnings. It looks like the one that's down to the south might be allowed to expire. We'll see how that pans out, but it does appear that rotation has moved northward into the northern tornado warning for this morning. It does include Carlinville. Again, Carlinville is one of the spots to watch out for. They had a little bit of the rotation right there just south of town. Getting reports of pea-sized hail just 3 miles north of Carlinville for this morning. So this is a storm system not to play with. It does have some potency to it. And we've seen the rotation. Again, the Lincoln radar is the best opportunity to see some of that rotation, and it's hard to tell, well, what's the green and the red? The green means going towards the red radar. The red means going away from the radar. So we're going to have to watch that little tightening. People are asking, okay, well, where's this all headed? So to give a better view of that, keep in mind, we are going to see still possibly some more warnings come out of this. But Taylorville isn't too far from the path. Springfield, you might just be on the east side of town. That's why we might get another warning from this. But this line is moving to the north and east over time. So keep that in mind. I know that there are probably folks who want to watch the morning there over on CBS. We're sorry we have to interrupt for that, but we have a tornado warning. People need to know about this as they're heading to work. And someone says that we have sirens going off in Farmersville. Someone said it's getting super dark in Riverton. No surprises there. Riverton just south of Springfield. That's where a lot of energy is right now. Looks like there's a little bit of a big spot for precipitation for this morning. Again, if you're joining us and you have to go out, get ready for work, and let's say you're not in the path of these warnings. If you're in the path of these warnings, take shelter. But let's say you're out towards Taylorville or Ullman or even into Springfield and you're worried about the weather. We're on Facebook right now too, and on X, both on Kevin, Seth's, Jacob's, mine as well. We're all there right now. We're even on WCIA. WCIA 3 News is live right now. Again, these are really recent upticks too in the rotation, becoming a little bit more broad in nature, which is kind of good news, but we'll have to see how these change over time because we had 3 really quick spins there on velocity when they were just outside of our viewing area. So again, we're going to stay with us until these warnings are allowed to expire. So yeah, CBS mornings hopefully can come back here if we get these warnings to expire, but unfortunately with a tornado warning, we have to stay on air. So the National Weather Service there in St. Louis saying there are 3 locations or circulations now in Macoupin County to kind of focus on, and they're using Lincoln's radar right now. So let's pull up Lincoln's velocity as we're on their radar right now. And you can kind of see those 3 little green notches right now near Millwood. I think Vernon might be another one. And just outside of Carlinville, right here, those are the spots we're watching out for. Where the green and the red kind of meet, that's where we're watching out for. Green meets towards the radar, red meets away from the radar. So that's what we're watching out for this morning. Again, 2 tornado warnings in effect here until about 8:45 for the northern one there. So we've got some time, about 30 minutes, 35 minutes or so until this ends. So here's a wider look. Springfield, not a part of the warning. Not Taylorville either, or Decatur, or Sullivan, or Tuscola, but further to the south on I-55 in the far southwest corners of our viewing area. So the south of Auburn, south of west of Taylorville too as well. And again, if you're driving on 55, the circulations aren't far away. So keep that in mind. You can kind of see those little notches right there where the green and the red meet. We'll kind of show that on radar too. And again, 2 tornado warnings for this morning. That's what we're watching for. Places like Raymond, Litchfield, just north of Litchfield and Wagoner, those are the spots that need to get ready for shelter. Shaw's Point, Walmack, Honeypot, even Carlinville, still stay in shelter right now. The tornado warning is still active. And we've got a lot of folks here on our chat there. Again, if you're walking out the door, we are there on Facebook, we are on Twitter, on X, and we're also on WCIA 3's Facebook page right now streaming this. You can keep that with you on the go if you need to listen to it. Also, the WCIA 3 weather app will have those latest warnings for you too, as well as you're heading out the door. I know a lot of people have to get to work, and not everyone's where this tornado warning is. And in places like Morrisonville, you're outside of the box right now, but you're going to get some storms here soon. Springfield, not seeing any severe alerts right now. There at Chatham, you can see kind of the darker reds for this morning. That's what we're watching out for more opportunities for even hail possible too. But right now we're really focused on these 2 tornado warnings. They do encompass Carlinville and Raymond. And some of us might be traveling on 55 going north or south, closer towards either Springfield or closer towards St. Louis for this morning. That's what we're watching out for, that kind of in-between spot. This is in the corner of our viewing area, and we do have some viewers out there who would want to know what's going on. We've already had some messages asking about Farmersville, and again, they would probably most likely be in that tornado warning right now if the sirens have already gone off. Hey, make sure you're getting your safe space in places like Litchfield, Raymond, Shaw's Point should already be in there, so would Carlinville as well, and Gillespie. Looks like those rotations have moved a little bit more to the north and east of there, though, for this morning. We're going to keep an eye on this throughout the entire time. And again, I know we're missing CBS this morning. I apologize for that, but this is important. A lot of folks asking about Champaign. We've had maybe a few thunderstorms. A new severe thunderstorm warning just popped up here. That does include Taylorville, Morrisonville, Vanderbilt, Edenburg, Zenobia, and the east side of the metro area there in Springfield. While this is not our tornado warning, this is something to keep an eye out for, and it's a pretty broad area for a severe thunderstorm warning. So those are your newest warnings right there. We're going to find out how long that lasts for. Should be severe thunderstorm warning for Bond, Fayette, Macoupin, Madison, and Montgomery County, Illinois. That is until 9 a.m. for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Radar indicated wind gusts out there. So we're going to keep an eye on that storm too as well. Same storm system or line of storms that's brought the tornado warnings there out towards just to the south and west of it. Pittman also on the edge of that tornado warning. Raymond, Butler Grove, you're probably not experiencing storms right now, but it's probably getting pretty dark out there. You're probably hearing maybe some tornado sirens too. Make sure you're getting indoors. Somebody asked about Nokomis earlier. You are in that severe thunderstorm warning, the new one that just put out. Let's see how these the rotation's looking on this. And again, they're using not the Lincoln or the St. Louis site, but the Lincoln site for these. Looks like the rotation's closer towards Farmersville right now, towards Pittman, I would say. Those are the spots to watch out for. Carlinville on the outside of that rotation right now, which is some good news here. And for those who are on the go this morning, maybe you're in Taylorville, maybe you're in Nokomis, you're in Vanderbilt, you're in Moweaqua, or you're in Springfield. Want to know what's going on as you head out the door? Just make sure that you have the WCIA 3 weather app, but also follow us on Facebook as we're live streaming this right now. Both Kevin, myself, Seth, we're all on there right now. Jacob on his Facebook page and on WCIA.com. You can see right there, we're pulling it up right there, live on WCIA's news feed right there. So again, keep that in mind as you're heading out this morning. We've got some rotation there, possibly a tornado from earlier. We'll have to wait and see what the National Weather Service says. Looks like Madison County, very weak rotation northwest of Collinsville. Okay, that's not in our viewing area, but we're still going to monitor it. And again, these are all rotations that kind of picked up really quickly here as the morning has progressed onward. And the worst part is that the St. Louis radar is down, so we're kind of using Lincoln's, but it's getting closer to Lincoln, so we get better information about it. Right there, that's where we're watching a little bit more. We'll see if that, now a new tornado warning in effect here, just north of Raymond for that little circulation I was just circling just a little bit ago. Brand new tornado warning does include Farmersville and I-55. And again, we've had a couple little circulations for this morning. It's been a busy morning already. In northern Macoupin County, the new tornado warning now in Farmersville, now going out there. Does include Farmersville, so keep that in mind. And again, if you're going from Springfield to St. Louis on 55, that's where we're watching this line of storms kind of roll right through here as well. Again, Farmersville, Pittman, Carlinville, Raymond, Polk. Those are all locations you need to watch out for here this morning. And these are the two spots, three tornado warnings now that we're watching out for here. So keep that in mind. Does include Farmersville, Carlinville, still in it, Litchfield, though a lot of the rotation moving to the north and east of that. That's why we have the new tornado warning there for Farmersville, there in far northern Macoupin County for this morning. Again, keep that in mind. Let's take the velocities back on there. And that's kind of where that circulation started to move to. That's why they had that tornado warning between Pittman and Farmersville. That's where we're kind of watching. And we're using the velocity from the Lincoln office, not the St. Louis office. So that's making it a little bit more difficult to see things here for this morning. That tornado warning just to the south has been shaved off. Carlinville not in it anymore. Shaw's Point not anymore. Millwood not in it anymore. Brushy Mound still in the first tornado warning down to the south that included Gillespie, Wilsonville, and Mount Olive. But those circulations are starting to move more to the north and east. If you're in places like Morrisonville, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. That continues on. Vanderville, Taylorville, Edinburgh. Does include the east side of Springfield. Let's pull up our storm tracker Doppler, and you can see that where all the reflectivity is. A lot of the heavier rainfall towards Mechanicsburg, Cooper, Illiopolis, New City, and Pawnee as well. Zenobia, just outside of that warning spot. Might want to be on your toes for that one. Morrisonville, Bear Creek, still in that severe thunderstorm warning as this line comes through. We've had these little circulations just outside of St. Louis start to pop up and then kind of reform as they came closer to our viewing area. So even while we were at the 7 o'clock hour on WCIX, we kind of noticed those, and they had warnings just outside of our viewing area. So we're going to keep tabs on that, these circulations as we go on. So again, we are going to see a bit more of the tornado warning still in effect here. And Farmersville, that is the new one right there in far northern Macoupin County for this morning. Again, if you need to get your safe place, now is the time to do so. Radar indicated rotation, and that is later until this morning. Again, I-55, that's going to be the spot to watch out for as these storms are rolling through. And that does include still another tornado warning just to the south near Zanesville, Raymond, Harville, Pittman, Shop Creek. Those are the two active tornado warnings we have there along I-55. And a lot of the activity closer there towards Farmersville. That's where we're watching that newest tornado warning for this morning. So keep that in mind. We also have meteorologist Jacob Dickey here. He just came in to help out this morning. He's been busy last night talking about severe weather. Now he's going to be able to talk about it this morning as well.
Yeah, good morning, Adam. Had a little bit of a morning here already, have you? I think so far this storm system has been overproducing a bit with the expectations for the day. So we've had, last night we had that golf ball size hail in Coles County. Didn't really think that was going to be the case. Our tornado threat we initially had thought this morning was probably going to be on the lower side, but there's just enough ingredients to take place here where we've now got these active systems that are in effect here. So, Adam, I'll let you kind of decide how we want to handle this. If you want to start working more digital as well, or we can kind of bounce off with this, because you've been here all morning and watching things, and of course we think this is kind of the appetizer for that. But there's warnings now here in Macoupin County. I know we've got some viewers that are down in Macoupin County. I'm waiting to hear from a couple of them and see if they've got anything. These storms are not classic supercell thunderstorms by any means, but there is rotation embedded along the edge of them, the leading edge of them there, and so they do look messy, and so that's something that we'll continue to watch and keep an eye on for us here. And we do know that there's been reports of some power outages with these storms down in Macoupin, Montgomery counties, down towards Brighton. There's been reports of power outages. I suspect there's going to be some strong winds with these as well, and so that's something that we will continue to watch and see with how things go. So continuing to monitor things for us here this morning. You'll see that area-wide ahead of it, we've got just severe thunderstorm warnings for Christian, Macon, Sangamon County. The National Weather Service has told me, I just messaged them, they are analyzing for the potential for extending these tornado warnings into Christian County. They have not made that decision yet. The warning is just to the west there, but they are certainly looking at everything and keeping an eye on it here. So that's kind of what we're dealing with there. Adam, are you by chance wanting to, how do you want to position things this morning?
Hey, what do you think is best? I'm going to let you take point on this one.
We'll do some housekeeping real quick here. So let's bring the graphics full, and then if you want, I'll start running here. We can get you to, if you can, I would like to get some safety information up, perhaps on Max 1. Some of those tips and tricks and things of that, because I know we're going to have some folks potentially in Christian County that may end up getting an extension of the tornado warning here. A lot can happen in 5 minutes where this storm may weaken a bit, it may strengthen back up, and so the National Weather Service still is analyzing that. So in particular, when we look closely here, that leading edge of this rotation, right west of Morrisonville to the south and west of Taylorville, probably the most interesting spot. You can see those brighter greens and there's a light reddish hues in there, some sort of weak circulation showing up there. That's going to be in the northern part of Montgomery County here. Right in here is I-55, the I-55 corridor, And this is Sangamon County. So we're talking Vernon right here, Auburn, Pawnee. It's looking to the south of there, but there certainly is some stronger winds. And then we'll have to watch, too. This little spot here near the New City, Edinburgh area catches my eye. There's just a little bit of an S shape there. Nothing strong and imminent at this moment, but perhaps if we continue to see trends move forth, that little bitty kink in our velocity products is something to watch. If we could also, if you mind tightening the camera shot on shot 1, I'd like to lose all of this space and make sure our viewers can see this TV here as we continue to watch this. We're going to stay with us for a little while as we kind of analyze things here. And Adam, you've been kind of watching through the morning, things of that. Perhaps you've got some of the safety tips that are up there. So if you want to, on Max 1, just talk through some of those tips, and I'll look for a little bit more information here. Adam?
Yeah, so when we have a tornado warning, it's been a while since we've talked about this kind of stuff. Proceed to a safe place, and you should know what your safe places are in your home. If you're in a mobile home, that's not the best place to be. A manufactured home, not a good spot either. Make sure you're getting out of your car into a ditch if there is a tornado. In, down, and up. Stay until all clear signal is given, and watch WCIA 3 coverage online or also on air right now. But those are the things to keep in mind. Your basement is a good spot. An interior room is another spot to be in as well when we have these tornado warnings. And we may not have a tornado, we may have a tornado, but those are good spots to be in when we get these kind of events, just to be on the safe side of things. Even more tornado safety, the worst place to be, in a car, mobile home, or under an overpass. We do not want to be there as well. We just got a new tornado warning there in Taylorville. If we could go back to Max 2 real quick back here on camera, we're watching for just south there of Taylorville, that new tornado warning that just went into effect here. That does include down just Taylorville and also to the south, Morrisonville and Vanderville, Locust, Bear Creek, and Ullman as well.
All right, perfect. Thanks for that, Adam. Now we're dealing with tornado warnings in Christian County here. We were talking, say, hey, we thought this might be the case for us here, something to continue to kind of watch. And this is why, Adam, we say, hey, it's a low tornado threat. It's never zero, because sometimes the atmosphere will humble you with that. Okay, Adam's going to take off here for a quick second. He's going to take care of some things behind the scenes, so he'll be back shortly as we continue to watch now. Time now, 8:24, I should say. We are dealing with a tornado warning now in Christian and Montgomery counties here, and there's a potential that we may see further warnings come from the storm. At this point, I have not received any information about any sort of damage in our immediate area, but it is early, and this round here is also not anticipated to be the main event for us today. We think that this storm system should clear out, give us some time for clearing this afternoon, but certainly the appetizer last night to the first course this morning and the later course this afternoon is going to keep us busy here in the Weather Center. What I'd like to do is I'd like to broaden out. Let's talk about everywhere and see what's going on, how things are shaping up there. So if that's the case, you'll notice there are some scattered showers and thunderstorms here ahead of this line that's from Springfield to the south. Storms in Shelby County near Lake Shelbyville and off to the east of Assumption and south of Decatur. More carrying through Moultrie County and into Piatt, southwestern Champaign County. Those are not severe at this point. We also have had some reports of some small hail in Iroquois County, non-severe, though just to the north, actually in Adams' home stomping ground. Severe thunderstorm warning up there, eastern Kankakee County, and I believe that would be Porter County?
Porter County or Southern Lake County?
Probably Porter and Lake County, but that's where Adam actually is from. And so with that, there's some storms up there causing problems. To the north, the hail threat probably is a little bit higher. To the south is where this tornado threat is. I don't think we're going to deal with any tornado threat this morning north of I-72. It seems like it's going to be south of I-72 and along the I-70 corridor. So while right now we're dealing with Christian County, further down the line, potentially have to watch Macon, Shelby, Moultrie counties. That could be in the next hour or so where this becomes an issue, as we have this tornado warning in effect now for Montgomery and Christian counties here. We do want to give an all clear for Macoupin County. And we can give an all clear for areas west of I-55, including the city of Springfield in Sangamon County. And so that's some good news for us as we continue to watch things here. One other thing real quick. I'm going to switch this over, and we are going to get the stream real quick up to match the TV feed. So with that, there's some folks that'll be downstream from this where we have to keep an eye on things. And so that certainly might be something that we're going to have to continue for a little bit while longer. At this point, Adam, I don't think we've had any reports of tornadoes.
No.
I don't think we've had much in the way of damage, but we do have a tornado warning. Watch means it's possible conditions are favorable. There is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect today. Warning happens to mean action is required and imminent. And you can see here in the top left, here we go. There we go, lose my bearings. Right up here, you can see the crawl that is in place, and that has the latest updates and warnings. Also, your WCIA 3 weather app is going to have information on that to keep you updated. Did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning, Adam, here, and you keep an eye on social media. Here's your phone as well if you want to grab that. Just new severe thunderstorm warning. These are for those storms ahead of the line now. This is going to include, lo and behold, Shelby County and Moultrie County. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect now. This is going to be mainly for large hail. There could be some cores of dime to quarter-sized hail. Looks like one is going to be just to the north and west of Cowden, perhaps another one northwest of Shelbyville, one here over the lake heading to the east towards Gaze, and then they'll continue to the east and northeast with those severe thunderstorm warning. Not the immediate problem for us. Somebody's saying my mic is a little off too. Are you guys at the back hearing me okay? By chance, getting a few messages about my mic. So you guys are hearing me okay. Let's see, maybe if you can, I think maybe you've got the, let's check the switcher real quick here. I think what we have, we don't want to click all of those on. That might be fixing the issue right there perhaps. So we've got 6, and I think that's going to be our problem perhaps. So let's see if that fixed it where the mic maybe gets a little better for our digital streamers on there. Remember, you can stay up to date with the severe weather threat. Okay, there was an echo that was going on. Folks are saying on digital. TV's probably hearing it just fine, but we want to make sure that there's some folks who are in the tornado warning. They're going to be heading to shelter. Maybe they're not close to their TV. And so for them, we want to make sure we've got as many ways to access our information. We are streaming right now on our WCIA 3 news and weather apps. We are streaming on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. And you can go to all those locations. Of course, we're on TV now because of this severe threat that is coming on through. And so that's good. Folks online saying we fixed that issue. So that's some good news for us. Let's reset here. Talk about our tornado warnings that are in effect. We've got a tornado warning now for Christian County. This is going to include areas from Taylorville and the Route 104 to the south there. This will be south of Kincaid. Does not include the power plant. Does not include Tovey. Does not include Pawnee. Places like that. City of Taylorville and to the south is in the tornado warning here. Morrisonville, Vanderbilt. This is going to be the Bear Creek area. Hewittville. Kincaid is out of it, and this does not also include Pana, Assumption, or the Moweaqua areas as of yet, though it is heading in the direction of those communities here. You'll see that as we look, our rotation right now, kind of stepping back a little bit, I'll be interested to see what the National Weather Service says, where, I don't know about you, Adam, but to me, the more interesting features maybe look like in the northern part of the county here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So we're going to still keep an eye on this Morrisonville area up to Taylorville on south of 104. But if you're in Edinburgh, Stonington, Mount Auburn, you're Illiopolis, Niantic, I would keep an eye out and be ready to go at a moment's notice here where there's these little kinks in the line. There's a little one right there, just northeast of Edinburgh. That'll be heading towards Mount Auburn. It's not warned as of yet, but it has that early sign that makes us raise some eyebrows here. And if it continues to progress, then maybe we would get an extension of a warning. Just got a message. We got some pea-sized hail in Springfield. At this point, I will give an all clear to all of Sangamon County except for the Illiopolis area. We got to get this line here, that dividing line, another 2 miles to the east. And once it gets past it, Sangamon County will be all clear. But we will keep an eye on this storm coming towards the Taylorville area as this Hewittville, Taylorville, Bear Creek, Locust, Vanderbilt, places like that, so where we're seeing this rotation. And Adam, has the National Weather Service said anything, their thoughts on this?
I have not got an opportunity to look real quick, Jacob. Right now I'm trying to fix the camera to see if we can find anything there in Springfield. We do have a lot of rainfall.
Yeah, but that's a lot of rainfall.
About all we're going to get. I'll double check Slack here right now, though.
And the other thing, too, is look at the lightning on this. These are some electric storms this morning coming on through. So we will be watching that accordingly. We're hearing some rumbling in Champaign. We've got some thunder and lightning there. Yeah, let's go ahead and double box that Champaign Skycam if we can. There's the full screen there. If you want to do some double boxes at some point as well, we can use a camera. The 2x1 would work. That will give us some view, and we can switch that around. We got lots of, I think our Matt Toon camera probably also going to have a decent view if we're interested in that in the future, and so that's something that we'll keep an eye on. So that's the view from Champaign, that leading edge coming on through for a lot of us this morning. There's going to be some spooky looking clouds that come on through, but the worst part of the storm primarily focused on Christian County here. All that lightning that's in place, certainly a sign of strong storms, but we see plenty of it as well in Shelby County up towards Moultrie County and eventually into Champaign County here, where we keep an eye on it. We've got reports the storm sirens are sounding in Taylorville and in Assumption. In Christian County, sirens are going off because of this tornado warning. While we've got you, I would encourage you to know that sometimes outdoor warning sirens are unreliable inside. I just want to preface that because oftentimes people rely on that, and they are spooky and they catch your attention, but they should. If you're inside, though, maybe your NOAA weather radio has gone off. For some of us in Moultrie, Shelby, Christian, Macon, Sangamon counties, the weather radio has gone off for the severe thunderstorm and the tornado warning that's been in place, and so that's certainly something that we're keeping an eye on here. Let's go back into our storm in the Christian County area. And this storm now right up on the Taylorville, be on the west side. So the airport sits here. Here's Taylorville. Taylorville High School is here. There may be some weak and broad rotation on the west side of town now. South of Sharpsburg, not by much. City of Taylorville, time now is to shelter. Worst case scenario here, out of an abundance of caution, we're sending you to your safe place. If nothing happens, you spent 15 minutes and we were good. But if something did happen, you'd be there and ready to go. And I know Taylorville, we are thinking of you particularly this morning, as you guys have had some stories to share in recent years. This does not look like that style of event. I will say that, but all tornadoes should be treated with caution. All tornado warnings should be treated with respect. And so the call to action for Taylorville and the immediate community is to shelter with tornado precaution. Probably interested too. Adam, you got something to add about this?
Well, I was just going to go on over tornado safety again because people want to talk about that.
Where do we shelter? That's good.
I mean, the best place to go, and if you want to turn it over to Max 1 real quick, there we go. The best places to be are not in your car or under a highway overpass or even a large open room. The best places to be are an interior room or a basement or of a well-built building. Also, tornado shelters. Those are awesome. Safe rooms, awesome as well. Those are great opportunities to kind of get you over your plan, too. And I know that we're in the early part of the season, so a lot of us haven't seen the tornado warnings just yet this year. It's good, even if you're not in the path of these tornado warnings, to kind of know what's going on. Tornado safety, good to know at any point of the year. We've seen that multiple times before, and so this is a kind of a good refresher for anyone that's not in the tornado warnings, a good refresher for those who are in the tornado warnings and want to know, well, where do I go now? Where do I go now? And I know right now a lot of folks are getting ready for school, getting ready to go to class, going to work, getting ready for work. Now's the opportunity or the time to kind of make sure you're in your safe space before heading to those places and then going from there. So keep that in mind. Let's say you're already at work. Where do I go from there? Well, that's something you have to talk to your supervisor about where's the safe spaces in your building. But again, if it's a well-built building, interior rooms or a basement, very good. And of course, a storm shelter, obviously a very good spot to be as well. We still are watching these storms, but I mean, it's early in the morning. It's right at that commute time. So that's why it's been kind of rough to kind of talk about this with the already chaotic time that it is in the morning there to begin with.
I'm ready for this cold front to come through.
Yeah, same.
Just thinking about how this has panned out here, where we've exceeded expectations so far with the severe weather threat. And tornadoes traditionally don't happen in the morning time. It's rare in Illinois for tornadoes to be a problem for us here. However, this morning, one of those mornings where we've got the ingredients that are right, it's a reminder that severe weather does not care about what time of day it is. All it cares about is what the ingredients are. If they're there, it's going to try and feast on those, and certainly that's the case for us this morning. Another reminder, too, it doesn't care what time of year it is here. This is starting to get into our traditional tornado season, typically our most active months, April, May, and June, but we have seen tornadoes and severe weather all months of the year at all times of day and night. Let's see here. I just got a report of some hail in Tolono. Hail in Tolono. One thing to mention, if you happen to get a report, a great way to analyze it is grab something that has a uniform size here. I'll bring up my graphic for you, kind of illustrate. If you grab a graphic that has a uniform, or an object that is a uniform size, like I have in my graphic here, things you have maybe in your car or in the kitchen, a coin, throw a quarter next to it. It doesn't have to equal that size, but that gives us a good reference here. So nickel, dime, penny, quarter, things of that. We talk about sports equipment. Last night in Coles County, we were saying, hey, maybe your kid's in ball, doing some baseball practice or whatnot, some softball, things of that. even if the hail itself is not that size, you can use that as a relative measure to give an idea what that is. A lot of times we get photos of people holding the hail in their hand. And I don't know about you, Adam, but our hand sizes are different. Whether you're, they're all different. We can't tell what size that hail is, but if you've got a quarter in your hand next to that hail or a penny or something of that, we can reference that and get a much better assessment of how big that hail is. Also have some pea-sized hail reported in Hoopeston. So that's something that I think is a good educational resource for folks to think about, where if you get some hail, grab an object and let us know, hey, what size that hail is. While hail and knowing it is good, it's even better if we know the size of it. So we appreciate all of our weather watchers, our viewers, and our spotters that are providing those reports for us here. Looks like that hail is going to be pea-sized in Tolono. Not that big, but still, for some folks, probably a little bit more of a noisy start to the morning. Did get an update on our tornado warning here. They have trimmed back the western edge. This is going to be all clear now for areas west of Taylorville down towards Morrisonville. The city of Taylorville, give me a few more minutes. Taylorville rural areas, give me a little more time. Areas south of Taylorville, give me a little more time as well. And then we're still keeping a very close eye to the north and east of Taylorville with this area here. So Willie's is there. There's Stonington. You've got Blue Mound. Booty is up there. We'll have to watch this area here as the orientation maybe becoming a little more favorable. It's not moved really much further, but it certainly still is an area that we're going to have to watch and keep an eye on. We just got one tornado warning at this point. And if we get to a point where that tornado warning drops, I think that warning goes until
22 minutes.
Say it again?
About 22 minutes left.
At 9 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Okay, 9 o'clock. So if we get to 9 o'clock, what we'll do is, just in the back, if we don't have any more tornado warnings or they say, hey, we're going to cancel it early, we will toss to a commercial break, figure out things. So just be aware of that in the back. I know we have a newscast at 9 o'clock, and if we need to, we'll stay with this and continue our weather coverage with this, but that's something that we'll have to watch. Adam, you've got something to add as well?
Yeah, no, updates from the National Weather Service. We are going to continue that tornado warning for Christian, Illinois. That was just about a couple minutes ago that they posted that, but otherwise, though, no new updates. Kind of a good thing to think about, too. If we have no news, is sometimes good news when it comes to severe weather. No new updates for that. Also, keep in mind, if we could switch over to Max 1 real quick, you'll notice that these are the best things to have. I know we have another round potentially later for today for severe weather, and we've already overperformed for this morning. WCIA TV, outdoor sirens, no weather radio, live streams, our mobile devices as well. Have at least 2 sources on hand at any point during the day, especially with active weather like this. And some of your best ones, as much as we love tornado sirens, they're great when you're outside, not so much when you're indoors, especially if you have really pounding hail, pounding rain, or strong wind gusts. Online, there are the WCIA 3 weather app. Also, your weather radio. We love to have those weather radios. And following us on Facebook and Twitter is great, but not every single source on Facebook and Twitter is a great source, too. Also, weather radio and also on TV, too. We're still talking about a tornado warning, our tornado safety. Some of us have gotten the all clear from Jacob. Some of us have not. Keep in mind, if you're still in that Taylorville, Vanderbilt area and areas around Taylorville, that rural area, we still have to have that tornado safety in the back of our minds, too. We're not out of it yet. Cars, mobile homes, or under an overpass, not the best place to be. Don't do that. I know people are going to and from work. Try to avoid that as much as possible. Large open rooms near an outside wall, also a bad spot. And manufactured housing, even worse. Hey, tornado shelter, safe room, interior room, or basement, or of a well-built building. If you're now at the office, you're at work, you want to know where to go, ask your supervisor, where's the best spot to be in for our specific building. Each building is completely different. Each home is different on what the best course of action is. So keep that in mind in the back of your head as you're going through this morning and for this afternoon, as we could have more storms later on for today and even the potential for a few tornadoes. Jacob, back to you.
Yeah, and you think, too, the students in schools, they've got safe places, and they've all figured that out. They're all in shelter, I'm sure, across Christian County at this point. I will say, while we're looking at the rotation, I've been kind of analyzing while Adam was talking. First off, we talk about the storms in Shelby and Moultrie County. I have no concerns for tornadoes at this moment from those storms. The storms to the west, though, are moving to the east, and so we have to watch places like that into Macon County. Also in Champaign County, at this moment, I don't see any rotation, and then they're mainly going to be some small hail producers here. And I'll flip on the hail side. It'll take a minute for the data to load here, but we should see some little spots here. That corresponds to that light gray. It's small hail, Tolono, Pisodum, Chicken Bristle. Anytime we can get that on air, I'd like to say that, right, Adam? And then some other little small hail cores showing up between Cowden and Shelbyville, things of that. It doesn't strike me as a large hail event like last night was in Coles County, where we had golf ball size hail move through areas south of Charleston, but there still is going to be some hail in that. And then with this line coming through in Christian County, there could be a little hail, but it doesn't look all that impressive. Maybe the wind threat and that tornado threat is probably the more prevalent thing in place with that for us. So that's something that we're watching and keeping an eye on for it here. All right, let's look here. Let's talk about this rotation, what we're looking at. This is called velocity product. Velocity, while you are used to Storm Tracker Doppler, that looks at the intensity of the rain. Velocity looks at how these storms or these things are moving, and that certainly is something that tells us more about the rotation of that. What we're looking for is areas of green and red that are coming together. Red, wind moving away from the radar. Green, moving towards. The radar's up in Lincoln. So what it's showing here is we've got a broad shear zone that's in place across much of Christian County. Within that, you get these little notches that pop up. There's one in here, there's one there just moving out of Lake Taylorville. And within that, sometimes we can see brief circulations that are become impressive enough to strengthen and come on down. Of interest now, to me, the most impressive circulation looks to be near Stonington. There is no warning on that at this point, but it is still there, still a severe thunderstorm warning with a threat there. You can kind of see that brighter red. That'll be heading towards Blue Mound, might be an issue. And then we can see also these very small little increases in the red, suggesting that maybe there's some sort of weak shear even up into Macon County. It doesn't strike me as tornado warning potential as of yet, but I think we're going to watch that Stonington area pretty closely, heading towards Blue Mound, eventually into southern Macon County. These things can spin up pretty quickly, and so that's always a concern. While there's no tornado warning for that, I'd say Blue Mound, Stonington, Macon areas, maybe towards Moweaqua. Consider your options. Think about if those sirens go off, you're ready to move. But for Taylorville now, I want to give it all clear to the city of Taylorville, and we will see an all clear there. Lake Taylorville off in the south and east side. Give me like another minute or two to keep those storms moving. They are moving quickly, about 40, 50 mile an hour, I think, and that will clear out. But I would think, and Adam, correct me if you think something different, I would tend to think that maybe the more impressive areas of rotation, as weak as they are, starting to lean a little more outside of our tornado warning area. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, yeah. No, they're starting to show the kinks outside of the tornado warning, and that tends to happen when storms move very quickly like they have been this morning.
Yeah. All right, let's bring up our Decatur camera. If we can, put me in a big box, and then we'll put the small in the small box. Let's stick the sky cam for Decatur. So I'd like to look at Decatur, and if you can, Adam, control that as well. Let's stick that to the south and west as that's coming close to town, kind of get a view on what's going on. We don't have a camera in Taylorville. We would love to have a camera in Taylorville. We would love to have a camera everywhere if we could, but there's 4 of us and like 10 cameras, and there are 300 and some towns that are in the city. So there we go. That's Decatur now. That's moving to looking to the north and east. Adam's getting ready to turn that around, and there we go. Start to turn a little bit. So he'll turn it about 180 degrees the other direction. Just checking some Facebook messages. Let's see here. We've got just some small hail reports coming in on Facebook. If you get any reports, let us know. All right, there we go. We're looking more west there, right, Adam? Mm-hmm. And sure. Maybe turn it a little bit to the left a little more so we can kind of pan. We'll start to scan the sky as a couple of areas of interest. One going to be south of Harristown, more due west. And there's some lightning there. Another towards Blue Mountain. They are weak. They don't strike me as being imminent for producing tornadoes, but certainly we're going to have to watch Macon County and Christian County pretty closely here for the next 30 minutes. Our rotation itself, the warning now, that rotation is moving to the edge of that warning. So there's a couple of things that are going to happen. The National Weather Service right now, I know they're assessing, looking at all the layers, analyzing things, and making decisions on what to do next. But I would be particularly interested to see their thoughts, what they do here with the Macon County. The edge of the wind here, there's going to be a lot of strong winds in there. In fact, I got some reports of some pretty intense winds in the Taylorville area. as this continues to move east, now we're also getting to the edge of the severe thunderstorm warning. So they're going to come to a point where a decision will come out, and they will either extend the severe thunderstorm warning and keep it that way, or they may lean for a new tornado warning here. We don't know what that's going to be yet, but we are aware that there is at least some areas of rotation showing up in the Decatur and area to the south and west towards Taylorville, and that will be primarily along State Route 48 at this point, as our storm is kind of moving on through. I would say it doesn't look as intense as it did earlier this morning either, Adam. I think when the warning started popping, we were kind of going,
They started popping right before we got to 7:45, 7:30.
Yeah, and we were kind of thinking, oh boy, what's going on? But now it's primarily a wind event with maybe a little bit of rotation in there. So that's something that we'll keep an eye on and continue to monitor for the next little bit. I want to do an area-wide view. And Adam, I know you've been talking about the severe weather threat this afternoon, where we haven't You've been talking about that this morning as well. We'll talk about that briefly here in a second as we wait for a decision from the National Weather Service. Area-wide view, we've got some thunderstorms that are a little more, more rumbly, I would say, than anything, with some small hail from the areas of Champaign County down to the south and east, south and west, I should say, towards Douglas County. Probably some rain coming into Tuscola, some scary-looking clouds. Then Moultrie, Shelby County, severe thunderstorm warning for quarter hail. A couple of cores in there, maybe a little wind. It seems like these storms out in front more favorable for for hail potential. I'll circle them for you. There's probably some hail in this yellow circle in those storms. The severe potential is with the wind and the maybe a tornado threat, probably more likely in this area than anything. But that certainly is something that
I would say the one spot.
Let's go ahead and let's put Charleston up. And we can also check Mattoon. Is Mattoon working this morning?
No, it's not.
We can just bounce through Charleston and Mattoon and Decatur. Those will be the three cameras we want to use. All right, here's what's happened. The tornado warning has been dropped. Does that show up on yours there?
It's not showing up on the National Weather Service, the chat, but...
Let me see. They just dropped from my screen. We're now down to a severe thunderstorm warning. So what we'll do is I'm going to talk to my producer in the back real quick. Madison, if you want, we can do a couple of things. We can toss to commercial break before our weather, our 8:55 fit. We can ride this out to a few minutes before 9. You just let us know here as we're... Okay, perfect. So we're going to take a little commercial break here in a bit. We'll be back. And correct me, you said 8:55 we'll come back on? Okay, perfect. They're going to call the hub, so we're going to be on for a little bit while longer and watch things here. We'll take a little break. We'll have another weather update around 8:55 or so. Then our show starts at 9. We'll lead with weather there and continue to bring those weather updates as we move on through. And that's how we'll kind of ride things out, as we now have no more tornado warnings in place across central Illinois. They are severe thunderstorm warnings. We have Macon, Sangamon County, but you're all clear now. We've got Christian, Montgomery, Shelby, and Fayette County. They just trimmed part of Shelby County for the initial. Okay, perfect. They just cleared part of the Shelby County warnings that are ahead of it, but there's more coming, and I suspect we're going to see an update here shortly with the Sangamon County, Christian County warning. Almost all clear for all the Christian counties. Taylorville, you're good. Assumption, Pana, Morrisonville, the tornado threat is over for you. I would say Moweaqua, Decatur, we're going to watch that area closely here. I'll do one last check of velocity. You can see there's little kinks in there. Nothing intense showing up at this point, and they could maybe spin up a little quicker in a bit. But at this point, the strong rotation is not as evident, but it is just enough where we're going to have to watch things pretty closely here, and that's kind of what we'll do with that. All right, time now. It's about 8:49, about to turn 8:50 here. I'm Jacob Dickey. We've got Adam Sherwinski here as well. Adam, you've been here all morning long, and we're going to keep you updated with coverage here, with more updates coming up in just a bit. Also, more news updates during the 9 o'clock hour. Stay with us. We'll keep you covered.